Okay, hello everyone. Let me know if you can hear and see me in the comments. And for those of you watching it after the fact, today is Monday, October 19th, 2020. I hope everyone's doing well today. Oh, good. Everybody's slowly coming. Hello, everyone. I hope everyone had a great weekend. Good. Hi, Sherry. Hi, JM. Liz. I don't know if you can hear that, but for some reason, my Amazon tablet's talking. So it sounds like we already got some energy going on. Yikes. Alexa's already chit-chatting. Okay, perfect. So everyone can see and hear me. That's wonderful. So yesterday I had announced that I was going to do this today, and in the community section, I asked you to write down your questions. And so I have some of your questions in front of me, and I will be reading on all of those topics that you've all been wanting to know about. A lot of common themes were emerging. A lot of you had very similar questions. So I think I have a good idea of what it is you want me to read on today. Okay, so everybody's here. That's fantastic. Oh, and so probably most of you are already aware of this. So YouTube has closed down the QAnon channels, and Facebook and Twitter. Everyone is shutting down pages and channels and accounts of these QAnon people. And so they don't really have a place to go. And so many of them found little old me over here. So I turned off my comments with the last video. It was all these QAnon people saying the craziest things. And so, if you're new to my channel, just let me take care of it. Don't engage with them. We keep the vibration high. I report them and I follow through. I do try to get these accounts deleted from YouTube, and YouTube really does care. And I really do applaud them for taking down these channels because they were making money off of these channels. Some of these channels had hundreds of thousands of followers. So, they have no place to go. So they found me. All right. So let's talk about, okay, is there going to be a second debate? Because remember I had said I'd only seen one. Um, and so I don't know if there's a point to having a second debate because a third of the country's already voted. So what is this debate really going to do? They've already voted, and then the debate's not going to happen for a few more days, and even more people will have voted. So it's sort of like it's a moot point to me, having a debate at this stage. But let's see what the cards say. I kind of feel like it could go either way, because energetically, I feel like it just doesn't even matter now. The crucial time has passed. It's the time to do it would have been before, when Trump didn't want to do it virtual. So let's see what the cards have to say. Is there going to be a second debate? Okay. Oh, these are such weird cards to get. Okay. Um, so the card that represents the debate, judgment. Okay. So if they have this debate, judgment will be passed. All right. So viewers will have some sort of opinions, feelings about this debate. The obstacle, card of change. Look at that Knight of Wands. For everyone in my tarot class, we're doing the wands this week. Look at this horse. He's up, he's rearing. And so the obstacle is having a big change. All right. Now look for the outcome. Feeling like a victim, feeling like hands are tied. And then look at this. How strange. Wheel of Fortune. So this is where we come into our karmic destiny. It's a turning point. And so nothing good would come of this debate. It would be like this karmic turning point. So let me ask then, how would the debate be for Trump? How would the debate be for Trump? If he was to go through with this, what would this look like for him? Because I sort of feel like the outcome was actually a bit more for him than Biden. So, okay. Okay, so really strange cards once again. Um, Sword of Truth coming out. See, I don't think this would be good for him. I always get a lot of swords with Trump. Um, I don't think it'd be good for him. Truth would be coming out. Okay, so how would the debate be then for Biden? What would that be like for Biden? For Biden, it's great. A financial new beginning. So it would give his campaign a nice financial boost. Do you remember when I did the reading originally, why I said that there would only be one? And it would be because it would hurt Donald Trump's finances for his campaign. And now look, he has raised over $100 million less than Biden. So I was, I think, dead on with that one. Um, yeah, okay, I'm glad you guys remember that. And I said it's going to hit his finances. And now look, he doesn't have all this money to spend like he was supposed to, right? Um, all right. The other thing that I want to look at is Amy Coney Barrett. Really interesting. Um, oh gosh, where to even begin? Okay, so for me, when I did the reading cold on her before, I sort of got like she's gonna have a pretty tough time getting put in, particularly if they try to do it before the election. But once I started seeing her in that whatever they call it when it's not like a trial, but they ask her all those questions and she's having to give the answers and all of that. Um, I was able to get into her energy. And so the first thing, probably like many of you, that I noticed about her were her eyes. And I was like, "Ooh, okay, so a little dull, lifeless." The eyes are the window of the soul, right? And I'm not getting that spark. Like when you look into someone's eyes, there should be a little glimmer, a little something, right? And I didn't get that. So I said, "Okay." But everyone's different. And so I tried to psychically go into her energy. I wasn't able to see a lot, and let me tell you why. She Somebody, okay, I don't know if she did it, if she has someone else do this for her, but somebody actually put up a psychic barrier around her. And so when I tried to go deeper into her energy, it was a solid black steel, metal, something like I couldn't penetrate. It was very tall and it was put around her. Pitch black metal, like, and I couldn't get through it. And I was like, "Wow." Oh, did someone saying that someone else saw a barrier? Because I tried everything. I tried going over, I tried tunneling under, I tried seeing how far it went. Oh, okay, so someone else, Denise Siegel, said that she saw something like that. Okay, I didn't know that. Um, as a psychic, when you read on certain governments, certain important people, they do have psychics and, sometimes dark magicians and things like that do put these barriers around so people like me can't read them. So it's only able to get so much on her. So let's see what the cards say because psychically, there is now a barrier around her, and it honestly gave me the chills. It didn't feel right. Because you can also put like what I do, I put a barrier around me too, but mine is divine white light. And so another psychic may see sort of like a golden white light that they would have a hard time getting through. Um, but this was solid and this was definitely put there by someone or a group of someone's. Um, it was just really dark, really solid. And all I could see on the other side of it was blackness. It was very eerie. So I'm just going to ask Spirit, is Amy Coney Barrett going to be just rammed through? Yeah, see, I'm still hearing she's going to have a hard time. There's obviously things that we don't know about her, and she knows that we don't know, and she's trying to keep it that way, which is a little creepy. Um, so is she going to be put through? Okay, so I just had 2 cards jump out on me. One down here. Okay. Um, 2 cards jumped out. So why don't I read those first? The strength card. So, this card usually pops up when I'm telling you guys we need to have some patience, followed by the tower. And so there's just wow, okay. Why am I getting all these cards about, the deeper I go into the deck, the more strange the cards are getting here. Okay, so for her outcome, getting a financial offer, getting money, that's so strange. So her outcome is getting money. Um, the other card with money, money changing hands. Money changing hands for her outcome. Okay. Bickering, arguing, fighting. This is not going to go, she's not going to be put in easily. Okay. So there's going to be, the Democrats are going to do everything that they can. All right. It's going to cause stress, worry, and anxiety. I just feel like this card is about ill health. And then we get the high priestess, and she is the keeper of secrets and mysteries, and she's very secretive. She is very good at hiding things. And so strange. I'm getting all this stuff about money for her outcome. Her outcome, she gets money. I don't understand. That's not because that wasn't my question. My question is she going to be put, on the Supreme Court? And I see her getting money. So I think we're going to have to wait to see. Um, very odd, but so the obstacle though still remains chaos, disruption, and upheaval. So there's more to come. Stay tuned on that one. I wasn't expecting to get money. That's a little odd. Okay, so a lot of you have asked me if I would do a reading on Kamala Harris. And yes, so for those of you who have been following me all along, you know that I've been talking about Tecumseh's curse or Tippecanoe's curse. And, that has to do with the 1811 Battle of Tippecanoe, where soon to be, president, William Henry Harrison, was fighting the Shawnee. And the leader of the Shawnee was Tecumseh. And Harrison and his armies won, beating the Native Americans. And so Tecumseh put a curse on the US presidency, which has held up pretty well over the years. So the curse is, and I know sometimes some of you got confused when I say this, the curse is the 20-year presidential curse. So if someone is elected, that's where people get lost, not inaugurated, okay? Elected. If a president gets elected, in a year that's divisible by 20, they will die in office. That is held up pretty well over the years. Um, so it started with William Henry Harrison in 1840, then Lincoln in 1860, um, Garfield 1880, McKinley 1900, Harding died in office in 1920, FDR died in office 1940. And I'm giving you the years of their election, of the election year, okay? Not the year that they died, because I know like that throws some of you off. JFK, he was elected 1960, right? Reagan, he was shot. He was elected in 1980, almost died on the table, but we have better things nowadays, and he survived. And then George W. Bush, 2000, there was an assassination attempt that the FBI and Secret Service thwarted. And so that's why, the last, you know, couple of presidencies, they've sort of been able to get around Tecumseh's curse because of modern technology. And so, how long can that go on for, right? So, I do think very much that this is a battle between, Kamala Harris and Mike Pence. Because I do kind of get the feeling that in the next presidency, the vice president is going to have to step in. Oops. So let's take a look at Kamala. I'm going to do a reading on Kamala. What do we need to know about Kamala? Okay. Okay, very good. All right, so the card that represents her, I mean, it's a great card. King of Wands being like fiery, passionate, enthusiastic. This king has a lot of wonderful energy with him. Her obstacle, Two of Wands, just coming up, I think, with a good strategy, having a good plan, assessing the situation, that sort of thing. And then for her outcome, Three of Pentacles. This is about getting community support. So her outcome is that she gets support. And then she also gets the Three of Cups, which is the card of celebration. So, really nice reading there for Kamala. So, let me take a look at Pence. And I know some of you were asking me, have I seen any changes with the blue wave and that sort of thing? No, I'm still saying there's going to be a blue wave. I think it's going to actually be a tsunami in many states. Yeah, Kamala got a great reading, huh? Those are really good cards. So let's take a look at Pence. What do we need to know about Pence, Spirit? Interesting. Wow. Okay, interesting. The further I go, the weirder they get. Um, okay, so right now he's pretty stable and grounded. Okay, the King of Pentacles is a very stable, grounded character. Here's his obstacle, though. Grief, sorrow, and loss. This is not a good card, so obviously, not a good sign. Then he starts to get an awful lot of swords. So for his outcome, here we go. Worry, stress, anxiety. Page of Swords, my card for a legal battle. There's a legal battle looming with him. King of Swords. Truth is coming out. Judgment's going to be made. Bickering, arguing, fighting. So he gets a lot of cards of loss, sorrow, worry, anxiety. Very, very different energy than Kamala, correct? The readings were sort of like night and day there. Some of you were asking me about specific states, and I didn't really want to get into like every single state. But the one state that really sticks out to me is Florida. And I'll tell you why. Because Trump underestimated the gray wave, okay? All of these older Americans that he and the Republican Party said they need to sacrifice their lives during this pandemic so we can keep Wall Street afloat. I think that really rubbed a big part of his base the wrong way. And we know that seniors vote. Seniors vote. And I think they are turning out in record numbers. He has, Florida is a swing state. He won it in the past election. I do not see him winning it this time. I actually don't see him winning. I don't think he's going to win any of the swing states. I think it's just going to be like this tsunami, this blue tsunami. Another one that I don't see him winning is Michigan. And I think the people of Michigan are probably horrified at what we just saw a few days ago, where he is getting a crowd to chant "lock her up" about their governor, Gretchen Whitmer. She's done her best during this pandemic, but even if she didn't, okay, let's say she did make some mistakes, you don't chant "lock her up" to a governor that isn't safe. Her family's, I mean, she has a family. And so I get the feeling that most people in her state are just watching this horrified. I couldn't imagine if that was my state, how I'd be looking at it. So I think when, scholars and analysts look back at all of this, I think one of the reasons that he's going to lose is because he underestimated this gray wave, these older Americans that, I mean, because he already plans on cutting Social Security, right? He's laid that plan bare. Um, and so really scary for seniors. The pandemic is, and like I unfortunately predicted, I remember I told you, and I'm so glad that now all the news is saying this is the third wave. They're calling this the third wave because when I was saying it back in the summer that we was in the second wave, everyone was like, "No, no, no, it's just a spike." And I said, "No, Spirit's telling me second wave." And now every news channel I watch is saying the fall is the third wave. And because that's what Spirit showed me was three waves of this virus, and we're going to have a normal flu season, and that's going to complicate things. And the virus numbers are going up. So do you guys have a specific question that you would like me to read on with the pandemic? Because I'm not sure how to phrase the question. Like, what is it that you want to know most about the pandemic? How long will we be shut down? Until I'm getting like March, April. Okay, so all right, so you're asking about the vaccines. Okay. So I've always gotten about March for the vaccine. Um, because let's face it, if Trump puts out a vaccine, like he wants to do by the end of this month, no one's going to take it because it hasn't been tested, right? That would be kind of scary. But to have one that actually works and is safe, I feel like around March. And it's going to go to medical people first, and then it'll go towards the most vulnerable people second, and then it will start to get to the rest of us. Yeah, the vaccine will be safe. I have no bad feelings about this vaccine. I don't think it's going to have any complications beyond any regular vaccine. I don't see that. Um, the other thing that I am seeing though with the pandemic is I am seeing Europe shut back down again. So I really feel like England, Scotland, Ireland, Wales, I feel like they're really going to be in for a tough time. Um, I also think I've gotten some hits about France, Italy, Greece, Spain. Some of you have asked about Canada, and I actually see Canada doing okay. Um, I I just heard Justin Trudeau the other day saying he's not opening the border back up to let Americans in until we get it under control. So is the United States going to shut down? Absolutely. Yes. We are going to be shutting down. Um, Yeah, I am seeing a pretty full shutdown, guys. I see your questions here. Okay. Yeah, so let me pull a couple of cards. And I know that's really tough to hear. Um, but there is no other way, I think, to stop it until we get the vaccine. Yeah, businesses closed. But I think the businesses that can be flexible and sort of reinvent themselves and be creative will be fine. Oh, when do I see it shutting down? Um, I feel Halloween is going to be the tipping point because it's on a Saturday. Some people aren't taking this seriously. They're going to have parties. And so I would predict that 2 weeks after Halloween, we're going to be in the biggest surge that we have ever seen in this country. So definitely mid November, we will be shut back down. Oh, someone asked about the Lincoln Project. I like the Lincoln Project a lot. Okay, and I see your question, Susan, and I will answer that for sure. Okay, okay, okay. So, all right, so this is for the pandemic. So the card that represents the pandemic, the card of loss. Um, and also too, this is a card of sin. And, being selfish, the devil is extremely selfish. And so this is sort of like a learning point for us. This is a lesson in us being compassionate towards others and, not spreading it. And you also see that these two characters are chained down together here. Um, and so, yeah, we're going to be, going back in. The obstacle, people are going to fight this. People are not happy about this, right? But then look for the outcome. Look at the outcome, the world card. Then we're going into a new phase and a new beginning. And then we get the Nine of Pentacles, which is all about prosperity, being financially independent. And so that tells me that we're going to bounce back. We're going to bounce back. Yes, I've always seen that Trump has had the virus. I see people asking that question. So, yes. And the problem is, it's like the little boy that cried wolf. If you keep not telling the truth, it's going to be hard if you do tell the truth for anyone to believe you. So, I do feel like the stimulus package is coming. Yeah, it's coming, but it just isn't timely, is it? So if you're asking like, is the whole US going to shut down? That is a state by state decision. The federal government could step in. Everyone's asking the same exact questions here. I mean, the shutdown's going to happen until we get the vaccine. So I don't see us really opening back up until the spring. Yeah, and so some of the nurses and doctors, they may quit. This is a lot for them to deal with, and do you blame them? Okay, so people are asking a lot about Trump's health. I really do get that he's not feeling well. I don't think he's healthy. I still get like his energy is depleted. I still see him in a wheelchair. I get a lot of chest stuff. Okay. Um, so something else is going on. I think he is really sick and he's really pushing himself because he has so much at stake with this election. It's not just about being president for him. It's about all these indictments that are coming. Um, so they're kind of like pumping him up with meds and oxygen and stuff, but it's eventually going to take its toll. Yeah, no, I agree. He didn't look good in Las Vegas. Okay. Oh, I think the wheelchair could actually just be symbolic. No, I'm not going to get into that kind of question, Cheryl. Okay, so a lot of you are asking me, and I'm going to like tiptoe delicately around this because of what happened last time about the power outage that everyone sees coming. Okay, so for my regular viewers, you know that I did a live over the summer that I pulled. That video is under lock and key. It's not coming back out again. I accidentally did get into classified information. I am a military remote viewer. I did not mean to. But then things started happening on video. So that's what happens. You start to get blocked, right? So here's all I'm going to say about the outage. Trump has not fulfilled any of these Q conspiracies, right? Which is tens of millions of his base. All these people, he hasn't fulfilled any of these things that they're prophesizing. And so, one of the things that has been prophesized is that one of our satellites will be interfered with and our communication is going to be shut down. And so, my message to you is it's not extraterrestrials, it's not an act of war, it is the president trying to pander to his base. And so, all I have to say about it is it's the video's pulled, you'll never see it. No. Um, it was 5,000 of you got to see it live and you got to see what happened. So if it happens, know that it's temporary, know that it's not an act of war. Same thing with this extraterrestrial disclosure, because that's the other conspiracy that he could easily fulfill. If he drags a 10-year-old boy out in a gray alien suit, please don't believe that we've actually had contact with any extraterrestrials. He just needs to start fulfilling some of it because none of it's getting fulfilled. Queen Elizabeth still isn't in jail, and his secret missions to the moon, working with the extraterrestrials, hasn't really gotten us far, has it? Um, so when I started looking at the conspiracies that he actually could fulfill, that's wasn't good. And so after I had made that video, things actually did kind of get worse for me. Because that thing was still there, trying to protect the information, trying to make sure that I did not let the cat out of the bag. And yeah, so no, that video will never see the light of day. But somebody actually asked like if it would be like divine or angelic if this happened. Heavens no. No. um I think, here's my theory with QAnon. And this is sort of what I get from the ET that I do channel. Is I talk a lot about the Schumann resonance, which is the frequency of this planet. Yesterday, huge spike again, huge spike in the Earth's frequency. All of the light workers, it's working. Okay, we're doing our job. It's working. Literally, the vibrations of this planet is rising. So perfect, right? So as it keeps spiking, though, QAnon keeps getting thrown out of all these different social media outlets, right? On one spike it was Facebook, on another spike it was YouTube, and so these spikes in the Schumann resonance is doing its job on eliminating the dark energy because they're trying to say that Trump is um saving children and all this stuff, but honestly we're in this country, we're missing tens of millions of migrant children that we don't know where they are, and that's not me being psychic, that's just me reporting the news to you. um so he's not fulfilling these conspiracies, and QAnon is going to go down. And I know this is going to get lots of the crazy ones, and here's the thing, if you want to put something nasty on on my video, all I do is report your comments, and then I'm like a dog with a bone and I do shut down people's accounts as best as I can. I am oftentimes successful. Because the thing is, if I just remove the comment, then they just go on to somebody else's channel. So I do my best to try to make it a little bit better. Okay. Thank you, Sandra. All right. So what other questions? Will we be a cashless country? So part of going into fourth density, right? So this is what this is really about, right? This isn't about just an election. This is about us going from third density, a time of ego and duality, up to our heart, right? Up to a time of love and understanding. That's what this is really all about. And this is about, good versus evil. And I'm telling you, good is going to win. Okay. And so, you know, try not to get too fearful about this. Energy is the currency of the universe, correct? And fear is a powerful energy. And so don't give that out. Try to take a step back, go within. This is the time to go within. And so, will we become a cashless society? Someday, because that is part of fourth density. Fourth density means that we are all connected and we see that we're all connected. And we are all connected because we come from the same source. And when we come from the same source and we truly understand that point, you can't let someone else suffer. And this is why you're seeing, these elites fighting all of this. They're the ones behind QAnon, right? They're doing all this disinformation because a cashless society would not benefit them. And I don't see it happening anytime soon. Sort of like when I tell you the meat industry is slowly dying. No, I don't see that happening today or tomorrow. I also don't read on royalty because that's part of third density. That's what we're getting away from. So eventually that's going to be gone. I think in about 20 years' time, everything's going to look very, very different. Okay. All right. So does anybody have any other questions? Um, I see a lot of you asking about Bill Barr. The thing that I get about him is he is just going to flip on Trump. I sort of feel like he is back against the wall. I feel like we haven't seen him in a while. And, you know, I don't think his health was good to begin with. Okay. A lot of these men, like Chris Christie, okay. Remember, I told you in the last reading, I felt like there was some permanent damage done in his chest. These people aren't healthy. And so, I've always seen Barr getting disbarred. Um, I would say that it would happen. I mean, timing's the toughest thing, right? Maybe like within 6 months. So let's take a look at Barr. Okay. Okay, kind of telling here. Interesting. Okay, so I mean, what I get for him, the chariot, he's still moving forward. He's still part of the game. Okay, he's still in this. So even though we haven't, heard from him, and I don't think anything's going to come from like the Durham report and all of that. I'm not getting anything like that. But he is still going forward in his life. Okay, so he's not out of the game. His obstacle, isn't this interesting? He has a decision to make. Here he is at a crossroads, having to make a decision. His outcome, he's feeling burdened and oppressed. And, he did it to himself. And the thing is, for those of you in my tarot classes, we're going to do the wands this week. If you if he was to take those 10 wands and bundle them together properly and put them on his back, wouldn't he have a much easier time? But instead, he's choosing this. Um, I see some of you asking me about Hunter Biden. I don't get a lot about him. For one, he's not in the campaign, right? We're not voting on him. We're not voting on him. And so I don't know if it really matters. I don't think that they're going to come up with anything that does matter. Everything that, you know, that they do get, it's going to be sort of like, so what? He's not running for election. I mean, his cards show that he's going to be fine. Interesting, right now this is the card that represents Hunter, having to make a decision and not liking the decisions in front of him. So now I think we're kind of reading a bit on his personal life, and I'm not really sure how much I can get into that. But so in his life right now, he is having to make decisions that he is feeling apathetic about. His obstacle has to do with time and things speeding up. So that's kind of interesting. But then his outcome, here he is, happy, 9 of cups, feeling content and fulfilled. So, all right, so people are asking about Rudy Giuliani. Oh my gosh. So, yeah, he's back in the news again. I don't think Giuliani is, well, I'll just say it. I don't think he's mentally well. As a dementia practitioner, he certainly has a lot of signs. Um, so let's do a couple of cards for Rudy. Oh, that's weird. I'm gonna do a clarifier because that's just weird. Some of these people end up just getting strange cards. So the card that represents the Fool, that represents Judy, is Giuliani. I combined Rudy and Giuliani and called him Judy. Okay, so the card that represents Rudy is the Fool. And like I always teach you guys, there are layers to cards. I don't think we have to go any deeper, do we? Um, this is the card that represents him. His obstacle, this is one of my cards for the US, and this is also the card of abundance. And so, either way, whether you want to look at his obstacle as being the US or being abundance, either way, it's not good, correct? Here's his outcome, getting good news about money. So that's why I said I'm going to have to do a clarifier on that. Um, I wonder if he's going to be one of the many that flip. Why do I see Rudy getting money? Why is Rudy getting money? Oh, that's so strange. Okay, so I mean, the King of Pentacles, the King of Golden Coins, right? This is his outcome. His outcome, getting good news about money, getting more money, being financially stable and secure. But here's the thing, it's not going to go well, and he's not going to be enjoying this money. Here he is feeling embattled, bandaged around his head. So, this money that he is going to be getting is going to come at a cost. And I don't think someone like him can really, I don't know, because like his energy doesn't feel strong to me. I see you guys keep asking about Texas. Are they going to go red or blue? I sort of feel like they're right in between. I don't have a strong feeling. So let me see. Um, in the end, I don't think it's going to matter because I do see the blue wave. So, all right. So, are they going to go blue? Is Texas going to go blue? Yeah, I was okay. I went into this really open minded because I kind of feel like it's right in between. Um, okay, so we get the star, right? Also, one of the cards that I use for the US reminds me of like the original 13 colonies flag. It's the card of like wishes coming true. And followed by the Knight of Cups, which is also like about wishes coming true. Like, because that chalice that he is carrying isn't empty, it's filled with good things. And then we get, the truth is going to come out. And so I'm wondering, okay, like people are going to actually, see the forest for the trees. Here he is, holding the sword of truth and just kind of cutting through some of that disinformation that's been coming out. Some of you are asking about Ghislaine Maxwell. Isn't it funny how we've stopped talking about her overnight? Um, like, yeah, the star card for Texas, very fitting. Yes. Take a little look at Ghislaine because for a while there, everybody was talking about Ghislaine. And then something happened. What happened? Hi, everyone. I see new people coming in. So, yeah, I did say that I saw Florida turning blue for sure because of that gray wave. Trump underestimated, the older Americans, and older Americans vote. And when you tell them that they need to give up their lives for Wall Street, that doesn't sit well. So, I really do feel like, Ghislaine Maxwell is kind of like a sinister villain sort of person, right? I mean, to human traffic children is one of the darkest things that I think any person could do. So I don't think she has any scruples, and I feel like she's going to cooperate because it's going to benefit her. Um, that's my, psychic impression. Okay. Oh, how bizarre. Oh, that's just strange. Really strange. Okay. Here's the card that represents her. Let me ask my spirit guide, why does the star card represent Ghislaine? Okay. So one of the meanings of this card is to have faith. All right. This is a card of like faith, hope, inspiration. And so this is just a reminder to, us in the US to keep the faith when we're talking about, you know, trafficking children. Keep the faith on this. Things are going to get better. Her obstacle, this is a card of celebrating and happiness. And so also this is a card of a new home, and so yeah, she's kind of in a new home, isn't she? Um, so I think that's pretty obvious, but look at her outcome. Once again, all swords, all swords. She's in for a ruthless battle. So she's going to put up a fight, but in the end she's going to do whatever, makes her life the easiest. She does feel like a victim, which I don't think any of us feel sad about. She feels like her hands are tied, she's going to have to cooperate. And then where's she going? Here she is leaving. So I wonder if part of the deal with her cooperating is that she gets to go to smoother waters. I wonder if that's the trade-off there. She'll drop all the names and she can go live someplace quietly. Oh, is Sheila in here and I didn't see it? If Sheila is in here, Sheila from Celtic Tarot, I loved your video that you did about QAnon. I was like so happy. I was like, that is such a gutsy thing to do. I was like, I was proud of you. If you guys have not seen that, I highly recommend that you do watch Sheila from Celtic Tarot. She did a video a few days ago about QAnon, and it was wonderful. And the hopeful message in that is that she got is that the FBI is on top of this. So all is well. All is, I know right now things seem tumultuous and all of that. Um, and did I see that Whimsy? Did I hear this somebody say that Whimsy was in here? Because I love Whimsy too. I don't know if you guys watch Whimsy, but I saw someone mention that Whimsy was in here. Yes, Whimsy's another wonderful reader, and you should definitely check her out too. Okay. Yes, Whimsy was here. Oh, okay. Yes, be sure. I believe her channel's called Whimsy's Oracle. Um, Hi Sheila. I loved your video. Okay. So a lot of you've been asking me if I would read on the time from November 4th to January 19th. Um, because when Trump loses, I'm feeling so much energy in this country. And not for the better in many ways. So I do think, it wasn't an accident when he was telling the Proud Boys to, stand by and things like that. He is sending out messages for sure. and he didn't win gracefully, so why would he lose gracefully, correct? Um, he's not graceful. So let's take a look at that time period, because I know it is a stressful period to look at for sure. Okay, so that time period, what do we need to know, Spirit? It's interesting how I'm getting, like, a lot of similar cards, even though, like, I'm shuffling here forever, right? But I'm kinda getting some similar cards. Okay. Um, alright, so the card that, represents that time, so this is Spirit again telling you, "Keep the faith." This is a card of faith, hope, and inspiration, and so cling on to those sentiments instead of embracing fear. There is so much hope with this card. And so, like I said before, emotions are the currency. Energy is the currency of the universe. So be careful how you spend that currency. So, focus on having this energy at that time from November 4th to January 19th. The obstacle, this card popped up again. And, this is a card of happiness and celebration. So that tells me, okay, the mood's going to be a little dark. Then for the outcome, this is and I don't take the death card literally. This is a card of transition and transformation. And this is what our country clearly just needs to go through. But at the same time, we're going to have the heaviness of the I don't know if you can see the 10 of wands here, the heaviness of this card, that burden and that oppression. So good things are coming, but it's not that time has such a heavy energy. Okay. And so I don't see um, anything much different for that. All right. Any last questions? Any last questions? Yeah, I know a lot of you want me to look at Eric Prince, but here's the problem with doing tarot on Eric Prince. All the cards are going to be negative, so I don't know how helpful that's going to be. I can pull some cards for Eric Prince, but you're not going to get bright, happy cards or neutral cards. That's always been my experience on reading him. Oh, okay. I'm going to write that question down. Trump fleeing, because he did foreshadow that, didn't he? Okay, so Eric Prince, and I'm gonna not try to get into his energy too much because it's so dark. I don't like his energy. Oh, okay. Seriously, I cannot make this up, right? You've watched me shuffle. Here's the card to represent Eric Prince. This is why I'm saying it's almost like foolish to do a reading on this man because this is what I always get. It's just dark, dark, dark. I mean, his obstacle though, okay, is having a new beginning. This is a card of new beginning, going on a new adventure, taking a leap of faith. And so that tells me there's going to be some stagnation in his life where he's not going to move on. And then here he is getting more money. This is getting good news about money. Um, what else could I say? This is how his readings go. That's why I sort of don't bother reading him. He seems pretty untouchable. Okay, so Trump did talk about leaving the country, right? He did say um, that if he loses, maybe he'll just leave the country. And he always shows his hand, right? He always shows his hand. He would not be a good poker player. So, all right. And if you have been watching my channel for all these months, you know I've always seen him trying to flee, that, Jared and Ivanka have a plan. They are just, ready to get out of Dodge. So is he going to leave or try to leave? Because I don't know how successful it's going to be. The card that represents Trump leaving is the Tower. Um, so chaos, disruption, upheaval. I mean, you have two characters leaping to their death as the tower is being struck by lightning, blowing off. And this is, something interesting about the tower too. Look, the lightning is blowing off the crown of the tower, and that represents the crown chakra. And the crown chakra is your connection to the divine. Okay. And so think about that for a minute. His obstacle, the high priestess. And the high priestess is about things that are hidden, secrets, mysteries. Okay, so we know that things are going to be coming out, right? His outcome, he may try to run, but it's not going to work. There is literally no movement in this card, and this is a card of being very much stuck, hands tied, blindfolded, So, mm. But he is going, oh, look at this. Now look at this. Okay, we get this a lot with him. He is going to continue to juggle money overseas. So he's going to try to leave that opening so he can slip on out. Um, Crazy, so crazy. I get a lot of questions about Melania, and I, what I get with her, and here's the thing: I actually feel like she's a decent mother in the sense that she wants what's best for Baron. And for those of you who are new to my channel, I do not tolerate anyone saying bad things about children. So Baron is a 14-year-old boy. And so we're not, I'm not going to go after Baron. And I actually think Melania's a halfway decent mother. And what I'm sort of seeing is she's taken Baron and going back to Europe. She's going back home. I don't see Baron finishing out his schooling in the US. And I've also gotten the sense that he's going to be changing his last name. So I think Melania, first of all, she and Baron did get sick. And I think she did get more symptoms than Baron. I did feel some of that in her energy. But I do think they're going. The two of them are going. She's going to take her son and go. Um, I don't I don't know where that leaves Trump. I mean, because he's gonna be going through all these indictments and trial after trial after trial after trial. So, I mean, so what is she really going to stick around for anyways? And so maybe that's how she can just have like a new start in life. Not that I think that she is like an angelic person. Not saying that, but I think she knew what she wanted, but I don't think she thought she was going to have to pay the price that she did. Lisa, I'm reading about Melania because dozens and dozens of people have asked me about her. That's why. Roxanne, yes, that dark entity is still there with him, which is why I'm not touching that whole satellite communications things all over again. If it happens, just know why, and that's end of story. Okay, my card for Melania. Here she is, back turned, leaving. She's going. Um, her obstacle right now, she gets an Ace of Wands. Aces are all about new beginnings. So her, her obstacle is having a nice new beginning, but her outcome, another ace, she's having a new beginning. And it's after the truth comes out. Okay. Yeah, I mean, she's getting out of Dodge. That's how I see it. All right, so let me pull a few cards for Biden and a few cards for Trump. Okay, I'm just looking at everybody's questions. Okay, so let me just focus on Biden. What do we need to know about Joe Biden right now? Oh, these cards are so good. I mean, you saw me shuffling, right? Okay, so the card that represents him, first of all, this is the most golden coins you can get on any card, 10, okay? And this also does talk about family. So the card that represents him is getting all this money. And if you have been with me throughout this whole live, I started off with saying he has raised more than $100 million in campaign funds on Trump. So he has really outraised Trump. And so he has the money to run all these ads. And I think that is playing a part with some of these swing states. His obstacle, you know, I hope it's not his health. I do hope it's not his health. But this would be my spirit guide is saying, okay, this is how I should take it. This is the card of going within, right? Being introspective and reflective and being out with people. It can have a couple of different meanings. So this pandemic has certainly changed how he has campaigned. So his obstacle is that he can't be out with his constituents. Now look at his outcome. A judgment's going to have to be made, which is very consistent with me saying I see a recount. I don't see Trump just conceding. And here he is coming in as the new leader, riding in victoriously and triumphantly. Okay, so, you guys just watched me shuffle the cards and pull those four cards up. So let me pull some cards on Trump. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in on like the middle of a Monday. It is nice to see all of you. So let me focus on Trump's energy. Mm, for some reason, I'm getting really warm, really, really warm. Ooh, okay. I am as I'm about to do this reading on Trump, I'm actually getting really warm, and the ear that has the microphone in it is starting to hurt again, kind of like last time when I pulled that video. Yeah, someone's trying to block this. Yeah, this is just like last time. Someone's trying to block this. Okay. All right, so no surprise. The card that represents Trump is the Tower. So he is in for a lot of change, a lot of disruption, a lot of upheaval. His obstacle, here he is feeling embattled, bandage on his head. I always look at these wands behind the character as being people, and these are just people that are sort of like out to get him. I don't feel like these are people that have his back. His outcome, living in a fantasy world, not being grounded. Inside of these cups are things like castles and baubles and fairies and, it's ghosts, so it's not being grounded at all. And then I get the card of fear, anxiety, worry, and stress. So, very stark difference between the two of them, isn't there? Between Biden and Trump. Um, but yeah, I think it's becoming more and more obvious that this blue wave is coming. And you know what? That's where I'm just focusing my energy. And so, just keep the faith as we go forward. Know that there's going to be some chaos. Know that we're going to be going back in because of the pandemic, but it's meant to happen. Okay. This isn't random and it's okay. So I hope everyone has a really great day. And I thank all of you for tuning in. Bye, everyone.